Back on schedule, y'all. Hey. Sorry I ain't been going live. My schedule has been thrown off. Apparently my kids had fall break from Wednesday to Wednesday. I don't know. Random the school be just it feels like they just randomly throw out days off and I just have to um deal with it. Good thing I work at home. So yeah, my schedule was off. But anyway, guys, so I'm sitting outside the gym and I just want to tell y'all a story because it's been put on my head on my heart to kind of point out something that happened to me yesterday. So I was in the gym yesterday and I went after work for a change because guys, normally I go at this time, right? So yesterday I went after work. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock. I don't know. It was evening time. And this lady was in there working out, right? And we in the cardio side, so I'm on the treadmill and she's on a bike. And so I'm doing my thing, she's doing her thing. I'm listening to whatever I'm listening to and she's doing whatever. So then I hear her yell out like in a cry of pain and she starts grabbing her leg, right? So me being the helpful me, y'all, I go and I ask her, "Are you okay? What's wrong? Is there anything I could do to help?" So she said she caught a really bad leg cramp. So I'm like, "Okay, well drink your water. Drink the rest of your water in your water bottle because that always helps with cramps. If you catch a cramp, drink water." Right. And then I was like, I'll go out. I got some peppermint oil in the car. I'll go get this peppermint oil and you can rub it on the cramp and it'll help loosen up the cramp. Right. So she's like, okay. So as I'm coming out of the gym, she follows me, right? She follows me out of the gym. So by the time I get the peppermint oil and I'm heading back to the gym, she's kind of standing in the front of the gym. So I give her the peppermint oil and I tell her just rub it on, and say rub it on her cramp or whatnot and keep drinking water. So in doing that, she starts talking to me. And people randomly talk to me all the time, y'all, so this didn't bother me. So she starts talking to me. So she tells me that she's 53 years old and that her husband of 20 years um just left her for a younger woman. Now, I don't know what just left mean. I don't know if it was like in the last week, 2 weeks, month, year. Some people be dragging stuff out. So I don't know exactly when this happened. So she's like, well, he just left me for a younger, slimmer model. So I'm in the gym trying to get myself together. So I said, oh, okay. Well, that's good to hear. So we go on and we're holding a conversation, right? Because at this point, the lady just needs somebody to talk to, apparently. So I guess God put me there at that time so she could talk to me. So she goes on, and I'm not going to tell y'all the whole conversation, but basically, throughout the conversation, she's complaining about this man that just left her for another woman, right? Throughout the whole conversation, she's telling me like all the problems she had and all the things that she sacrificed for him and how she put her life on hold to try to get him together and all this stuff, right? So after she vents, I asked her. Well, I don't even ask her. I said, well, I did ask her. I said, well, it sounds like this other woman is a blessing. So why do you feel like you need to be in the gym competing with her? Because if he was all these negative things that you're saying and he done moved on with another female, then what's the problem? It sounds like she was a blessing in disguise. I don't understand. Like, what happened? So she's like, oh no, well, he's a really good, and she starts backpedaling everything she just told me about this man, right? She starts telling me like how he was good to her kids, how her family loves him, how he was making good money until the COVID stuff. Like she gets to start telling me all this good stuff. And I was like, okay, so she was like, and you know how it is when when you got to compete with younger women. So I look at her and I say, No, I really don't spend my time trying to compete with anybody else." And she was like, "Really? It's our human nature to compete." I said, "Well, When I get up in the mirror, when I get up every morning and look in the mirror, all I see is me. So why would I compete with somebody else when I look in the mirror and all I see is me? I I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's a whole bunch of artists that had masterpieces, right? And they didn't compete with each other. Like, Picasso didn't say, "Well, what is Da Vinci doing?" Like, nobody did that. They just all ended up with masterpieces. So I don't feel like as women we really have to compete. Just because she's beautiful doesn't make you any less beautiful, or just because I'm pretty doesn't mean the person standing next to me is gonna be any less pretty or any more pretty or whatever it is. Like, we're all our own masterpiece. So I don't understand about the competition part per se. So then she goes on and she starts telling me about how their marriage was good, right? And then she goes back to complaining. So I'm looking at her and I'm like, well, I don't know, but I just feel like maybe, if you keep working on you, and not notice all the things that he was doing wrong, then maybe, things will turn around. Because I've been standing here and talking to you, and you've had a lot of negative things to say about this man just in the time that I've talked about you. So if y'all relationship kind of went like that, where you focused more on what he did wrong instead of, noticing the things he did right, maybe that's why he left. Maybe he didn't leave for a younger model or a slimmer model. Maybe he left for a more positive model. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe she has a more upbeat attitude. Maybe she's encouraging him more so than putting him down. So it was just things like that that I reminded her of, because I'm like, in the conversation that we had in the first 15 minutes, all you did was talk negative about this man and how he left you for another woman, like you didn't want him. But then when I say, well, it sounds like she's a blessing, then you want him. So I kind of feel like we are self-sabotaging people. Like, now I know it's a lady I'm talking about, but men do it too. But in this case, I'm talking to about women, because she was so negative, and I can imagine them. Like, I have left for just people being negative. Like, it drains your energy when you get up every morning and you try to make every day the best of your day, and you're trying to be positive, and you're trying to retrain your thoughts to where you're thinking more positive. If you're around somebody who can't think positive and always sees the negative and focuses on the negative, even when there is positive, they still got to focus on the negative. It drains you. It drains you. And people get tired of that. People, how am I going to get out of a depression if you keep talking about all this depressing stuff? Like, people get tired of that. So, ladies, we really need to be careful of what we are speaking out of our mouths, because that's venom. She seemed very toxic. Now, of course, I didn't tell her that, but just in the conversation I had with her, she seemed very toxic. I don't even know how, have to know this man to know that she seemed very toxic. So sometimes these relationships, y'all, is not because he upgraded, or if that's how you feel. And that's how she thought about it. Again, maybe he did, I don't know. But I'm thinking it was her bad attitude. We hear that all around us, and we don't. See, okay, look, there go a black man right now talking about they don't need it at home. I completely agree with you. I feel like your home is supposed to be your temple. I 100% agree. I feel like when you go out in the world, you got to deal with all kind of drama. You got to deal with all kind of negativity. So when I get home, that's my safe haven. You can't disturb my peace at home. I absolutely agree with you, Malik. I absolutely agree with you. You can't disturb my peace at home. And until you find somebody that vibes with you on that level to where you can have peace, then I think it's not a bad thing to be single. I think this woman right here really needs to be single so she could work on herself, because she's had a lot of insecurities. And I believe that's what she was spitting out to her man who ended up leaving her, is her own insecurities that she wasn't seeing, and she was putting them on him. And that was just in the conversation I got, just in what, 20 minutes of standing outside the gym and talking to her. So, y'all, again, for every negative thought, y'all got to come with three positive solutions. Okay, right? Now, I'm telling y'all, I already mastered this part of being positive. So, I'm telling you, I do it to the point where I drive people crazy. But nevertheless, I ain't walking around here depressed. I ain't walking around here feeling like, oh my God, life doesn't love me. I ain't feeling like that. I'm thinking about where I'm about to travel next, what I'm about to see now. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. Shoot, I want to go to Dubai. I want to go. I'm still trying to get to Paris. Yeah, I got a petty story about Paris from one of my exes. And I know he's watching me on another profile. I'm pretty sure he is. But that's another story within itself. Anyway, that stuff I be thinking about. Like, where's my next trip? What we gonna do? I don't be on no was me woo stuff. And I don't stay around people that stay on was me woo stuff. So if y'all see me or y'all feel like I'm getting distance, like this man probably got distance on her, y'all quit with the was me woo stuff. Get over that. Like, that's part of your mental health that you were playing with. That's something you can change. If you just change your thought process, your mental health will start getting better. I'm telling y'all. So that's my rant for today, y'all. Hopefully it put some positive thoughts in your mind to where you can start changing your thought process and start living life, start being happy, because you can be happy even if you're single. You can be happy even if you're not single. Like, you can be happy. It's just all about how you think about it. So y'all have a blessed day. Talk to y'all later.